Last week we added a massive stainless steel structure to our wooden boat, and let's just say it didn't get a standing ovation. In fact, some members of the crew were not exactly thrilled.
It looks horrible.
But to be fair, it wasn't finished yet. This week I'm setting out to prove that it can look good, work well, and maybe even win some hearts. Will MP change her mind?
I hate it.
Will this become the biggest upgrade Yabá has ever seen? Or just one big flop? Wish me luck. We had the best night's sleep ever, knowing that we have a perfect, beautiful, shiny solar panel support on the back of the boat. No, kidding. We did sleep really, really well though. We've moved. There's boats arriving every minute, every second, because this is a very odd situation where we're going to have a very strong west wind on the island. It's usually north, northeast, east, south. Anyone who has a mooring buoy on the west side of the island is probably going to head over here today, so it's going to fill up loads. At least that's what a friend of mine said, who just from a sailboat behind you guys there, he just pulled by and he said this is going to fill up loads. We have this tire thread, what is it, 1 inch, maybe a bit more, tire snubber that we've been using for almost a year right now, and it's still very strong, but it is kind of like snapping in certain areas. I'm not saying if one thread will hold the weight of the boat on the anchor, but this stuff is just so strong. So I've just got a new piece. I'm going to replace it. I thought, as I don't know this anchorage in this wind direction, that would be a good time to not have the full chain on the windlass. We do have this kind of snubber here. It's just one rope tied to the chain, but this one over here goes from the outside of the boat under the bowsprit and makes a V shape and meets the anchor on both sides under the bowsprit. So it's a really nice kind of strong thing to have. So let's get into that. Let's go and install it. Does this make sense now? That's gonna have to do for now. Nice and muddy from this morning. Now if the other one were ever to unhook, our chain would still be loose.
A good sign that we chose a good bay to shelter is that many other boats chose the same bay. But as you can see, it's quite shaky.
What I really want to work on now is get those solar panels onto here before the wind hits, because that's going to be a pain. We have the little mounts on here, so all I need is the screws to go with it. We were just about to get into the dinghy. As a matter of fact, Toby was already in the dinghy and I was getting in it when we said, hang on, I've got so much stainless left over from the rebuild, let's just go through it. And guess what, we found more than plenty of screws, nuts and washers for this to work. So I just need to go up and see which drill bit we're going to use, because we have to drill into the side plate of the panel. It's not going to damage the panel, it's literally just a little bit of structure. It's aluminium, so it's also quite nice, so it should be quite quick, and then we can start removing one by one from on top of the roof and placing them over there. I don't know how easy, hard, or whatever that's going to be, but that's just going to be something that we're going to have to find out. So let's just get this correct drill bit and we should be good. the little supports are going to be on the inside of the panel, not the outside, which means that they're going to be drilled through this aluminium plate over here. However, there's a little kind of a lip which is probably made to be able to rest stuff on, so I'm going to cut a tiny bit of this away, or even bend it out a bit, and that's going to allow the little stainless plate to sit nicely inside. It'll also prevent it from sliding, and it's been nice and flush once we get that screw through. If everything's been done right, this should fit like a glove.
Gonna fly away, go a million miles.
For a second there, I thought I could be Spider-Man and do it all dangling off, but it's not going to be accurate enough. So pre-drill here, have a rest. I feel like I'm touching land right now after being there, and then we can put it on and just put the screws in super easily. We've got our first one on. It only took us half a day, but first one's always going to be the hardest. We're going to put them all on. I don't know if we'll manage to do today, it's getting dark. I think we'll get that one done still. That one, the last one, and then the two hard ones are done. Yeah. Then once they're all on, I'm going to take one nut off at a time, add some Loctite, and then we've got the wiring to do. And I'm quite happy doing it now because there's no sun anyway, so it's not like we're losing solar potential. But look at this. Completely empty. We're gonna start removing everything on the deck eventually, including the horn and stuff. But we'll do that all in one go with a bunch of epoxy to close all these holes. Looking at daylight, this is how far we came yesterday. I am very happy, and I don't know, the vision of it is coming real. The only problem is these were made, I don't know if it's my measurements or what, but if I drill a hole through the panel and put a screw through, this bit is touching the bottom of the panel, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to draw a little line on each and every one of them, and I'm going to cut it off a little bit, maybe like 3 or 4 mil, and then that should solve that issue. But that does mean we're going to have to remove these 2 panels, and it's still super windy, but that shouldn't be an issue. Awesome, didn't know that was going to be so fast. All of them are cut shorter and rounded so you can go over with your hand without injuring yourself. So let's get this panel back on and we can practically screw it on. We won't do it for good because we want them all on, and then we'll see if it fits, and then we'll put the Loctite in. This is one panel completely on. Let me just hang in there. The spacing now has increased loads, so it's not touching the top on any of them. So now we can move over to the one that we installed yesterday. We'll remove it, do some cutting and put it back on just like we did on this one, and then we'll be back with you guys to do these middle two, which is going to be cool because right now you can see where we do the barbecuing, it's quite sunny. So when we have those up, this is going to be nice and shady, and that's why I keep telling people, so we have a more practical workspace by the boom, and that we can no, it's actually so we can barbecue in the shade. After practicing some Cirque du Soleil acrobatics on the davit system, I decided to hit my head on the rudder. We took it as a sign to pause, reflect and recover with a coffee and an ice pack. The outer two ones are on completely and it's looking really cool. We're happy we've done this because these I think are the hardest. We've still got to find out how these are going to go. It's super windy, so putting these middle two ones on is going to be exciting, but I really like how this change has been made because the panel is not resting on this little piece of stainless here anymore. But we've got to hurry with these last two ones because if we disconnect that, we're not charging anything anymore.
I was thinking, we're about to put the third panel there. We're only charging solar with one panel left. Once that's there, we're not charging anymore until the electrician on board makes the connections longer and makes it work. So while the guys are doing that, I'm gonna start gathering all my wires and clamps and everything.
Three out of four. We've covered these up because the sun was quite high and we don't want them to be charging without being connected to batteries. And P's over here because we are going to figure out if we can install them today. That would be absolutely epic. We've got the right wires coming out from behind Toby's feet there to the panels. Of course, they were a lot closer to that access point on the roof, and they're going to have to run all the way over here. So we're going to figure out if we have enough wire and if we can connect them today. So let's lift this one up, bring it on, and see if we can play around with some wiring.
Let's see how many fathoms of wire we have. Eight and a bit.
Definitely will. If we pass it underneath, we will. Finally, the last panel is going on and we've got some shade, which is ideal because I've been trying to cover these up. I just don't have enough cloth in the boat that's allowed to get dirty to put on these. So let's get this done while it's shady and connect everything. We should be good. MP, launch that drone. Bit more careful, but let's get that drone in the air. Behave, Licky.
Like an acrobat, you got more to hide than a Siamese cat. Cold and after you. I tell you what to wear and tell you what to do. Out there living by an old salt mine, you wonder all the way and wonder all the time. While you're waiting for the future.
Feel my eyes going
Rattling around in your head.
You know, you could also just push this one up with your other hand or something. I don't know. We need 5 arms each. Okay, it's on. You can see all these wires dangling down. So I say we should get the minimum amount of screws on. Talk anymore. These are all in place, which is great. I'm gonna get the minimum amount of screws on, so MP can do her job and connect all these thingies. So later we can do all the fine tuning. No matter where I am, under the panels, in the engine room, even cleaning the hull, I always have a work buddy. And now he's over here. Hey Caio. He always tries to stay as close as possible, which is really, really cute. I'm sure that if he could hang or walk on these pipes, he would. Caio, this is going to be loud, okay? Hey. You guys have to be here to see this. So remember, we are one by one just going to remove them, put washers in and Loctite, but we just wanted everything in place because this was not easy. But this is the last one. We're done. MP, your turn. Woo! How does it look from the drone? Let me have a look. It's really funny these times. You guys see what it looks like before my reaction to it. Let me see. Has my dream come true? Whoa. Well, looks a bit silly with those towels on.
I know.
So let's connect them and then we'll do a real reaction shot. Yeah? I know someone who's good at that.
At connecting.
You've seen our helper friend, Caio, helping us with the job. And we've got our lazy friend over here. We haven't used this rope for much. It's a very expensive doggy carpet. We haven't even started with the connections yet. We haven't even removed the towels over the top. But 2 things I can already notice that are massive improvements. The amount of dirt that gathered under these is nuts. To clean that, we would have had to remove the panel, clean, and put it back on. And secondly, we're not even sailing yet, but look at the amount of shade that the boom is casting over these 2 panels. It's literally through the middle. And if we go aft here, I know they're not on yet, but look at how there's no shade whatsoever over these panels. There will be other advantages. I'll also be honest if there are disadvantages. But for now, I know that also on the platform, things are going to change. When it's raining, we might even have some shade or some cover from the rain on the platform. Also, when it's really sunny, we're going to start heading up the coast now. We definitely are starting to head up the coast because that was our last job. So once it gets warmer, we're going to have a lot of shade on the platform as well to get those barbecues going. MP, did I ever say how I love how you turn that screwdriver?
Lefty loosey.
Out here dancing with a broken shoe. You're a model lady,
Now that's
it's
fine.
really coming through.
Don't cut the red one.
So thick, these wires.
6 millimeters. Funny thing, I got a notebook to draw and then I found exactly the page where we did the drawing last time when we installed the square-shaped solar panels. Now they will be in a line, and we're gonna figure out which positive will marry which negative.
And me and Toby did a really good job at not planning this in beforehand, and we just placed them however. So MP is gonna do her amazing magic of getting it connected anyway.
So panel number 4,
That one? Yeah,
it's
cool.
plus there and negative here.
Yes.
Okay,
This is positive.
so that positive will marry
Ah,
this negative.
this.
Yeah,
Should I connect or take?
take for now.
Minus here.
Will marry this positive. The following negative will come all the way to this positive over here.
This one.
And that's it. We have 3 weddings
And then we have these 2 left over to connect down to the
to the MPPT.
NPPT.
Even though I really enjoyed working with electrics, passing wires through difficult areas will never be my favorite.
Where do you have to get it through?
Ta-da!
can hear it.
How is up here?
So the hose is transparent. You can check in the engine room.
Turn it 180 degrees. Yeah, push it down. I need like chopstick.
Every time you show up smiling, you got me. Never knew how you played alone.
Okay, let's connect the panels.
When the time comes and you're beside me, it's all I dream about, building a home.
0.
18.
Staring up at the
So it's working.
Really dark already, no sun, but at least it's working.
Okay,
We can go to bed happy.
with an empty battery. We are about to reveal the panels just in time for sunset. We're not going to get a single drop of sun on them. What was your initial thought on these?
I hated it.
And now?
I'm starting to like it.
Okay. Whether you like it or not, it'll grow on us either way, and it's very practical.
You like it?
I love it. So let's do this.
Wow.
You're not in a hurry. Sing as you walk and jumping up in the air. You hold
That's elegant.
Wow.
This is so cool.
thought that I had just got blown away.
Unfortunately, it is dark now, but tomorrow's another sunny day, believe it or not. So
Didn't take a second, did it, Leaky?
tomorrow is another sunny day, believe it or not. So we are going to see what it's like around noon. Underneath it, we'll have everything connected. We can test the amperage or wattage coming in. Tomorrow is going to be the day, but finally, I think Licky approves. She's even going to sleep next to the solar panels. We now approve. Toby, what do you think?
Oh, they look so good.
Yeah? Okay, everyone approves. What do you guys think? This was going to be the worst situation upgrade because MP was going to hate it. But it turned out, into my opinion, something that's just such an amazing upgrade to the boat. Look at the amount of space. You wouldn't be able to stand right there if the solar panels were there. But yeah, comment. What do you guys think of this? I think it's so cool.
Now we have a lot of room here. I don't really know what for, but if in the future we want to add solar panels, we can add those that you can walk on.
Ooh. Spot on. Let's go and anchor where he is. He's still in the sun.
Can feel that tingle down my spine.
You know, when I was hoping that this new addition would grow on me, let's hope this new support really grows on me. So far, I'm still not very sure. Guess what? It did! I have to admit that I'm very happy with the new solar support that we have. At first, everyone knows I wasn't very convinced. I thought it would look ugly. I'm here looking at it, and I'm really wondering if this was our worst mistake yet. But now looking at it, it's not it looks amazing, it just looks normal. So it's not ugly, it's not an eyesore, but it's also not something that when you look at Yabá is the first thing you see because it's catching your attention. It just looks like it has always been there. It's part of the landscape. And for me, that's a compliment. The fact that it looks normal is the best result possible. And there are many benefits to it. Like now that the solar panels are there and not here, it's not just the space that we got, but also the solar absorption. Like before, the boom could be giving shades to the panels, and because they're all connected in series, that was really affecting our absorption. Now that they are there, they don't get that shade. So we didn't increase the amount of panels, but we definitely increased the amount of solar that we can capture during the day. So those 550 watts that we have on each panel are going to be used better now. Besides that, we also have some shade in the platform, so for sunny days when someone's in the barbecue it's protection, but also for rainy days when someone's in the barbecue it's protection. Also when we are storing the dinghy in the platform is also under some shade, which cannot be bad. So honestly, I just see benefits, and I have to admit to Ben that he was right, and I'm really glad that he followed through with his idea. And for those of you who are still like me, not very sure, I hope that now, seeing the final result, you're also a little bit more convinced and you're also happy about how it looks. One of the main concerns that you guys had on the comment section from the previous video was about Yabá being wider now. So there's something that I want to show you because I actually want to see it myself because I'm not believing Ben yet. Ben here is saying that the panel support is not any wider than the boat.
And I am saying it's not wider than the widest part of this roof, which is narrower than the widest part of the boat. I'll bet a nice cup of coffee on that.
Okay, but people don't want to know what you are saying. They want proof.
So I have this. First, let's do this. You go all the way to there. Find the widest point possible. 525. 525 is the widest part of the roof and the panels. 456. So that's 50, 20, 70 centimeters narrower here, which is 35 centimeters narrower on each side.
That's insane.
I am owed a coffee.
Wow, I wasn't betting.
I was. When we are on the platform, whether it's raining, windy, or sunny, we are in the shade. We could practically hang a hammock. Here's another challenge. When we reach subscribers, I'm gonna sleep under the solar panels during this.
I could do that too. Easy peasy.
Under the solar panels during a storm.
I know. No.
And prove that I'll stay dry.
How many subscribers then?
What are we now? 102? When we reach 110,000.
That's right.
Thank God I have you as mine. Can feel that tingle down my spine. Staring up at the moon.
Someone's having mullet for dinner.
Caio.
Caio.
This
Caio.
image is so amazing. So congratulations, and I'm sorry I doubted that you would be good.
I think you should just have a bit more faith in me in the future. My next project is turning the Lazy Susan into a beer fridge.
No.